DeAndre Ayton pick and roll, especially with Luka. It's going to force the defense to pull in, and that's going to open up those three-point shots. You look at bringing in Luka Doncic, but watch this wide open shot. Because they have to hold in on the DeAndre Ayton, that opens up the floor for Marcus Smart to knock down.
Shaq had 61 on his birthday once when he was with the Lakers.
I don't think the Warriors want to hear that.
Doncic guarded by Payton. Flips it up. Nice soft touch. Gets it to go.
Doncic, he just holds that basketball to make sure the traffic clears. You're always going to run somebody at him in the post. He just takes his time and waits and knows he's got a size advantage.
Kennard off to a good start. Gets LaRavia a wide open shot. Too strong. James offensive rebound. Goes back up. Draws the foul. Count it and one.
In this game, they've gotten what they wanted to in the paint. You saw some lobs, layups. This is LeBron just going down there and muscling his way to an offensive rebound. They've also executed really well with some of their three-point shooting and the action they've run.
Vanderbilt shuffles it off, and here comes Doncic. James steps back. Corner three. It's good. LeBron James. What are they saying? A two-pointer. Foot on the line.
Again, Luka directing traffic. And you just see LeBron has the ability just to raise up. And when and
I think that caught Santos off guard a little bit. Like he wasn't expecting that, but that's a very cool thing for Luka Doncic to do that.
Santos signing a 3-year, $15 million deal as Doncic knocks down a couple of threes right now.
Yeah, we're used to seeing this, like off the dribble. The first one was that catch off the flare. You don't see him with the catch and shoot it.
This kid from Brazil, a second-round pick, the 55th pick in the draft. So just to make the NBA was a dream come true as Doncic knocks down a long three-pointer.
And again, look, you're sitting underneath the screen. This is Luka Doncic. He's the leading scorer in the league. He's one of the great offensive weapons. You can't play that dance. You got to get.
Melton has cut on that. First one he kicked out. That one, he had an easy layup at the end of it.
Melton double figures again. Moody goes out on Doncic. Doncic nails another. Red hot to start the third.
And, only one of these has been off the dribble. He's had two off the catch, and this one is just a jab step and goes up. You're so used to seeing him get to his spot going left in the little push-off, but right now he's feeling it. You see the rotation on that. Kind of knows the result as he lets it go.
He already has third period. Santos steps back. Doncic grabs the rebound, has 6 of those. Beautiful pass, LaRavia. Count it, and a foul. Santos with a contact chance for a three-point play.
Better than the Lakers with that throw-ahead pass. They've got a couple different guys that can make it. More often than not, it's Luka. But if you're a wing and you contest and run out, and LeBron or Luka get that defensive rebound, you're going to get rewarded.
LeBron, so the best thing about the NBA, when you lost a couple games in a row, the next game is always right there for you. How did you bring a focus into this one and make sure you ended the winning streak, or the losing streak, I should say?
Our back was against the wall. After losing the way we've been losing lately, obviously we lost those last 2 at home and then go to Phoenix and lost that heartbreaker. So we wanted to try to fix that. We started on the defensive end and then not turning the ball over on the offensive end and have a good rhythm. We had a really good rhythm tonight.
Yeah, you start out 4 for 4 from 3, and it seemed like the rest of the team kind of caught that. You just believe in that sometimes when teammates see the thing go down, it can get contagious and there's momentum with the shooting?
Absolutely. That's on both sides. They're like, one guy turning the ball over, it can be contagious. And, sometimes I have high turnover games and then everybody starts turning the ball over. So felt like, by me, making a couple shots on the outside. Obviously, Lucas sprinkled in some. Jake sprinkled in some. Marcus hit a couple. AR, we had a pretty good Luke was a great game by Luke tonight too. So it was a good win for us.
What do you take out of this, and how do you move forward now? The rare kind of road home back-to-back as you got to play again tomorrow night at home.
You just said it before we even started about the NBA. You can't really get too high or get too low because there's another game right away, and we got another one tomorrow.
Last one for you. Obviously, you get to spend a lot of time with Bronny tonight. Bring your daughter to work night. How was that for you?
It's amazing. I spent a lot of time away from my kids throughout my career, so any opportunity at home, at road, to be able to spend time with them is always a blessing for me. And she's good luck so far. She want to know.
All right, appreciate it, LeBron.
The last few days, the Lakers had some frustrations and a 3-game losing streak, and they took it out tonight on the shorthanded Warriors as they blew them out up in San Francisco. The big three set the tone. They were fantastic. We'll talk about that in a moment. Great energy, I thought, from the start. Business-like, as Luka was saying at the end of the ABC broadcast, and the offense caught fire, James. 129 points, 19 threes, 46% from behind the arc, 29 assists. And sometimes, James, you just need a blowout.
Yeah, I think you said it, business-like, because they realized that the Warriors were shorthanded too, as were the Phoenix Suns. So I think they had that in the back of their mind. They weren't going to come out there and take anything for granted, and they needed to win, Gita. Sometimes in the NBA, you just need a win.
Yep.
And you could tell at the end of the game, there were smiles again. It was Luka's birthday. They were having some fun, but I thought they came out and took care of business, as you stated. 53% from field, shot the three ball well. I thought they got some good production from the bench. Luke Kennard, 10 shots, 4 of 7 for 3, and also Jake LaRavia came out to play well too. So overall, good game. They did what they were supposed to do with a weaker team tonight. Did not let any of their, guys who usually don't score like get going. They kept everybody under the radar, and they were able to come up with a victory, which a victory in your stomach feels good, and hopefully it can jumpstart them to get where they need to get.
Yeah, James, I was really impressed by the offense. It's been a tough 3-game slog for them, and I feel like they got their mojo back tonight. And, the bench was great. We talked in the pregame show, in 2 of their last 3 games, one reserve on the other team has outscored the entire Laker bench. Not the case tonight. LaRavia was great. You already mentioned Luke Kennard. He was great. I like Austin Reeves tonight. I feel like he kind of took a nice little step again. 16 points, whatever it was, on pretty low volume, too. I thought he was really
11
efficient. 11 in the first.
Yeah.
Way to get this team off to a good start. And James, here we go. All it takes is one win. They're only 2 games out of third now in the Western Conference. Houston lost today. So with games coming up at home against Sacramento and New Orleans, teams near the bottom, if not at the bottom of the West, these games, if you can tuck away these wins the next couple games, you're going to be right in there for that mix for third place.
Shots started falling and the rhythm that you guys got into. How did you see that sustain itself through the game?
He was just making the right play in front of us. I thought our starters really set the tone with that. And boy, Luke Kennard just starts the blender for us. We frankly have not had a ton of blender starters. And obviously, Luka gets 2 on the ball, AR will get 2 on the ball, LeBron will get 2 on the ball. But just to be able to create a closeout and then make the right read and right play from there, I thought our guys were incredibly unselfish tonight. But it started with that starting group, and then I thought, Luke was huge for our offense tonight.
You kind of hinted at that in the pregame. You said that after the All-Star break, it hasn't quite clicked for you yet, but you felt like it was going to come. Did you feel like you saw some of that tonight?
Yeah, again, it goes back to just finding that consistent level of playing the right way on both ends, doing what we're supposed to be doing, executing at a high level. You saw those trends. We haven't had it for a sustained full stretch of a game. Really, it's come in spurts in all 4 of our games that we played prior to this. It was definitely our most complete game post All-Star break.
JJ, when you guys were shooting above 50% from behind the arc and 19 threes, was that part of the blender, so to speak, or why was it so successful tonight?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is. It's just being able to just make the next pass, get to the next thing, touch the paint, pass it to the next guy. We certainly made some threes. LeBron made a couple ISO threes. Luka got hot to start the third quarter with some set plays, and then the ISO 3, the second one in transition on the left wing. So it wasn't like all our threes were coming from that, but I just thought the ball was moving tonight.
Shot making is always going to help, but was there a consistency to the process tonight that allowed you to extend a 10-point lead to 20 to 30, whereas there's been a couple games in this stretch where you get a 10-point lead and then it...
Yeah. Again, that's what the consistency of just playing the right way was great. I thought anytime we got a little disorganized, we were able to get back to just some go-to stuff to calm the group. They made that little run in the second quarter. Once we had the bigger lead, we went horns chin, twice in that quarter. Smart gets the three because they went under on the chin screen, and then AR gets downhill on the against Horford, because we set a great screen to get Smart potentially a layup. Horford has to back all the way off. So again, it was just like we did a good job. The guys did a good job. Anytime, we felt a little discombobulated of just getting back to neutral.
Getting back to Luka and him being, creating that blender, is that even more valuable? Obviously, his shooting is valuable, but is it even more valuable because now, Luka or Austin and LeBron can be the beneficiaries of that, if that makes sense? Yeah,
I think he's got like a really good we score mentality. A play can be for him, but he's going to hunt out, the best shot and play for the team. And all the guys, benefit from that when the ball moves. I mean, look, I had an ATO for him in the second half. He scores on it. Could have shot it off the initial screen, created the blender, eventually got it back, hits a step back three. We run it again. And this is where I just, he's a cerebral player. Pat Spencer tries to top block him, and he screens his own into Jake's guy. Smart hits Jake for a layup. That's just connective offense right there, and that's just what Luke does.
JJ, earlier this year we talked a lot about reference points and different stuff like that. Just obviously you'll watch the game and you'll see it, but in real time, did it feel like this was 48 minutes of good reference points for your team and for where it's trying to go, and particularly where it's been here for the last week?
It did, and like I said before the game, these guys want to do it right. They're trying. I know our staff, myself, we're always looking for answers and solutions. That's what this is. We're trying to find solutions. And I said before the game, I'm confident we are going to find that level that we want to get to. And it's been partially just because of the disruption of lineups and different factors. We just haven't had the continuity that I thought we were going to have coming into the year, and it's taken longer than I thought, but I'm confident we're going to get there.